Let's begin by offering our respects to ISKCON founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai. Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruvyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Okay, so we welcome all of you to our weekly online Krishna book classes. We have with us here Aja, Dipti Adnani, Karuna, Lavina Dadlani, Manju Nihalani, Minakshi, N.C. Venkachari, Auntie Neeta, my husband is there, Ritu Lalwani, Romi, I don't know who is SDL. Then we have Shailesh
That's my
Latkar.
brother, Shantaram Lathur.
Ah,
SDL is
okay.
Shantaram.
Okay, so we have Shantalam Latkarji, then we have Sheetal Latkar, we have Swapna Latkar, Vivansh, and we have Wendy. Okay. So today, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we will be seeing chapter number 35 of the Krishna book, titled The Gopis' Feelings of Separation. Now, previously we saw the Gopis' feeling separation from Krishna. When was that? Previously, we saw Gopis feeling intense separation from Krishna. When was that?
When he left them in the middle of the rasa dance, he left them and he disappeared. When he thought that they were being puffed up, so he left them.
Yes. So when he left them, that time they were feeling intense feelings of separation, and then they sang what is called as
Gopi Geet.
Gopi Geet. Yes, Gopi Gita, no? Very nice. So here in today's chapter, we will be seeing how the gopis are again feeling intense feelings of separation from Krishna. They are not satisfied with the rasa dance. They want more and more from Krishna. They want more and more association. No, they want to have more and more pastimes. They want to relish his association more and more, which is a characteristic of a pure devotee. No, a pure devotee never feels satiated. He never feels satisfied that yes, I have enough of Krishna. I have heard enough of Krishna Katha. I have attended enough classes. I have chanted enough rounds. No, I have done enough devotional service. No, a pure devotee wants more and more and more of service, more and more of chanting, more and more of Krishna Katha, association, etc. So the gopis, they also want more and more of Krishna's association. And therefore, they are not feeling satisfied after the rasa dance. During the daytime, what happens is Krishna goes to the forest, no, with his cows. So then when Krishna goes to the forest during the daytime, then the gopis, their hearts are going with Krishna, but physically they are not able to go with Krishna because they have to stay back in their homes and attend to their prescribed duties. So therefore, at that time, during the daytime when Krishna is away, they are feeling separation from Krishna. And then they are singing the song of separation. So in this chapter, we will see the songs of separation that the gopis sing when Krishna is away in the forest during the daytime. Okay, so this is called as the Yugala Gita. This particular chapter is called as Yugala Gita. The word Yugala usually means two. Sometimes it can mean more than two also. So why Yugala Gita? What is the meaning of this word? Is because the gopis, they are in groups of two or three or maybe as other smaller groups. So they are in different small groups of two, three or more in different places at different times. This is unlike the Gopi Gita, where all the gopis were together and together they were not together. Of course, each gopi was singing the verses in the Gopi Gita, but that one gopi who was singing the verse was talking in representation of all the gopis. So it is considered to be a unified prayer to Krishna, a unified appeal to Krishna. Oh Krishna, please come back. But here in this Yugala Gita, the gopis are in small groups in different places at different times, and they are expressing their feelings of separation through different verses. So therefore, this is called as Yugala Gita. So this Yugala Gita is, if you see the chapter in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it has 26 verses, okay? But 24 out of these 26 verses are spoken by the different groups of gopis. The first and the last verse in this chapter is spoken by Sukadeva Goswami because he is narrating this to Maharaj Parikshit. So because this is spoken in different groups, you will see all these verses are clubbed together in the Srimad Bhagavatam. For example, 1 is spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, then 2 and 3 are spoken by the gopis, then 4 and 5 are spoken by the another set of gopis. 6 and 7 are spoken by another set of gopis. Like this, they are all clubbed together, no? And in between, there are 4 verses that are clubbed together for continuity. So you will see if you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, these shlokas, that's how it is presented. And then, of course, the first and the last are the verses spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, as we mentioned. So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he describes in his commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam that the love of the gopis, the gopi prema, is divided into two parts. The coolness of direct enjoyment with Krishna in the moonlight at the night of the rasa dance, no? And the heat of separation from him during the daytime. So they are feeling the coolness of union as well as the heat of separation from Krishna. So this is the epitome of Krishna Prema, of love for Krishna. So this chapter is titled The Gopis' Feelings of Separation. Let's read. The Gopis of Vrindavan were so attached to Krishna that they were not satisfied simply with the rasa dance at night. They wanted to associate with him and enjoy his company during the daytime also. When Krishna went to the forest with his cowherd boys and cows, the Gopis did not physically take part, but their hearts went with him. And because their hearts went out, they were able to enjoy his company through strong feelings of separation. To acquire this strong feeling of separation is the teaching of Lord Chaitanya and his direct disciples, the six Goswamis. When we are not in physical contact with Krishna, we can associate with him like the Gopis through feelings of separation. Krishna's transcendental form, qualities, pastimes, and entourage are all identical with him. There are 9 different kinds of devotional service. Devotional service to Krishna in feelings of separation elevates the devotee to the highest perfectional level, to the level of the Gopis. So, of course, the Gopis are the purest of the pure devotees. They are at the highest perfectional level of devotional service. So, nobody can surpass the Gopis when it comes to love for Krishna, when it comes to devotional service. So, how can one attain this elevated position? How can one advance in one's spiritual life? Is when we are hankering for Krishna. No, when we feel that we want him, that hankering for Krishna purifies us, and it helps us advance more and more in our spiritual life. It helps us perfect our lives more and more. And this is the recommended process taught by Lord Chaitanya himself, who is none other than Krishna, known in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and his direct disciples, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Our movement is not that we are thinking that, yes, I have attained Krishna, or yes, Krishna is personally relating to me. No, we always think that we want to desire more and more and more of Krishna. No, we want that hankering. That is what is the teaching of Lord Chaitanya. That is what the Gaudiya Vaishnava movement is all about. No, hankering for Krishna. It is stated in Srinivas Acharya's prayers to the 6 Goswamis that they left the material opulences of government service and princely status of life and went to Vrindavan, where they lived just like ordinary mendicants, begging from door to door. But they were so much enriched with the Gopis' feelings of separation that they enjoyed transcendental pleasure at every moment. Similarly, when Lord Chaitanya was at Jagannath Puri, he was in the role of Radharani, feeling separation from Krishna. Those who are in the disciplic succession of the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya should always feel separation from Krishna, worship his transcendental form, and discuss his transcendental feelings, his pastimes, his qualities, and his entourage and his association. That will enrich the devotees to the highest devotional perfection. Feeling constant separation while engaged in the service of the Lord is the perfection of Krishna consciousness. So again, coming to the point that a devotee is enriched with the feelings of separation from Krishna. That enriches a devotee even more. That purifies and enriches and advances the devotee even more. See, now talking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he is Krishna himself in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So mood of Srimati Radharani, what is the mood of Srimati Radharani? Is that she is feeling separation from Krishna. She cannot bear even one moment to be away from Krishna. See, the Gopis, they curse Lord Brahma, they curse the Creator, saying that, oh, dear Creator, why have you given us eyelids? Because when we blink, for that moment, we are not able to see Krishna. We are losing that moment of seeing Krishna when he is with us. or even when he's not with us, because Gopis see Krishna everywhere, no? But when they are blinking, they are saying that we are not able to see Krishna. So why did you create these eyelids? So this is the mood of the Gopis. This is the mood of Srimati Radharani. Even that one blink of the eye, they don't want to have Krishna away from their vision. So this is the feeling, the separation that the Gopis and Srimati Radharani feels for Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So the mood of Srimati Radharani is that she is feeling intense separation from Krishna. So he, in his pastimes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, throughout his pastimes, he always displayed this particular mood of separation, mood of separation from Krishna. So he would exhibit different leelas to show how he's feeling separation. And one such leela is this, no? He was in Jagannath Puri, and he was with his associates, and suddenly, very quickly, at the speed of mind, no, he went into the waters in the sea. In Jagannath Puri, you have the ocean or the sea, thinking that this is Yamuna. And he was remembering the pastimes of Krishna and the gopis in the waters of the river Yamuna. And he went so fast at the speed of mind that his associates began to search for him. They did not realize that he has gone into this ocean, and they were searching for him throughout the night. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was he lost his external consciousness, no? So he had fainted, and then in that unconscious state, he was found by a fisherman, and the fisherman brought him out. He thought that this is a dead body. This person is not alive, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not showing any signs of consciousness, external consciousness. So therefore, he thought that this is a dead body. But because he touched the body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this fisherman was feeling a lot of ecstasy, and that ecstasy, in that ecstasy, he was thinking that he has been touched by a ghost, So it's a very, very interesting pastime of how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he displayed these pastimes to show separation from Krishna. So it's a very sweet pastime. I would recommend that you do read this particular pastime in this particular link. You can read this chapter from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, here coming to more points. So this is one incident that happened when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was at Jagannath Puri, and he was the role of Srimati Radharani. He felt separation from Krishna. So another important point here, those who are in the disciplic succession of the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya should always feel separation from Krishna. This should be the mood of a Vaishnava, especially in the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Constantly feeling separation from Krishna, because that increases the love the devotee has in his or her heart for Krishna. So coming to the 6 Goswamis, because we saw how this is the teaching of Lord Chaitanya and his direct disciples, 6 Goswamis. And also here we see how the 6 Goswamis, they left the material opulences of government service and the princely status of life and went to Vrindavan, where they lived just like ordinary mendicants, begging from door to door. So these 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan are Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatt Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, and Sri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami. So these Goswamis, they were very, very opulent, and they left all that opulence. They surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They followed the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's chief 2 instructions to them was, first of all, discover the places which have been lost, the places of Krishna Leelas in Vrindavan, which have been lost over time, and to write books on philosophy and to preach. So this was the primary instruction that they received, and they gave up all their opulence in order to follow the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they lived like mendicants. They would go and beg door to door. So Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, they were 2 brothers, and they were working for the Nawab of Bengal, and he was very happy to very opulently pay them for their service. They had to also change their names to some Mohammedan names. They were born in Vaishnava families, but because they accepted the working of the Nawab of Bengal, the Muslim ruler, therefore they were considered to be to have fallen from their position by the other residents of that place. But still they always maintained their their bhakti, the devotion they always maintain in their heart. And then when they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave them the instruction to give up this service and then go to Vrindavan and do those two principal services which I previously mentioned. So it is described that after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave them the instruction, Rupa Goswami, he filled two boats of gold coins. So two boats were full of gold coins. That was their earning. So that the point I'm trying to make is that was the kind of opulence they had at that time, no? And then he kept some 10,000 gold coins with a grocer. And then those 10,000 gold coins were used by Sanatan Goswami in order to bribe the official so that he can come out of the prison, because the Nawab had imprisoned Sanatan Goswami so that he cannot go, no. But those 10,000 gold coins were given so that Sanatan Goswami can come out of prison and he can follow the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then the remaining gold coins was filled in two boats by Rupa Goswami. Half of that wealth he gave to Krishna's service by donating it to Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. 25% of those gold coins he gave to his family members, and 25% of the gold coins he kept in reserve for emergency purposes. So this is how he distributed his wealth, and then he went to Vrindavan and lived like a mendicant, door to door. So imagine from that kind of opulence, to be living like a mendicant, begging from door to door just to get some thing to keep body and soul together. That was a kind of purity they had. That was a kind of surrender they had for Lord Chaitanya. No? So we're talking about this particular point here, which is mentioned, how they gave up their opulence and renounced everything. Then coming to Sri Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami was the nephew of Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. And it is described how he was also born into a high caste, affluent family. And he also grew up with a lot of financial resources. And he was, in fact, the son of Venkata Bhatta, who was a resident of Sri Rangam in Tamil Nadu, South India. And his father used to serve the deity of Sri Ranganath. No, Ranganath deity is a reclining deity over, I think, 22 feet reclining deity of Lord Ranganath, no, a form of Lord Vishnu in South India. So his father was actually engaged in that service over there. So he was also born in a very, very affluent Brahman family and a very devoted family. Then Raghunath Das, it is described that it is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that they were two brothers by the name Hiranya and Govardhana Majumdar. And their annual income was 12 lakh rupees. Annual income of 12 lakh rupees 500 years ago was a huge whopping amount. Okay, it was a lot of money. So, and Raghunath Das is the son of the younger brother. So Hiranya and Govardhana, they were two brothers, and Raghunath Das is the son of the younger brother Govardhan Majumdar. So goes to see how affluent and how opulent their families were. And then they gave up everything to surrender to Lord Chaitanya. Okay, we have a hand raised here. Shailesh.
Yeah, I had one question which was now answered. Basically, who was the one who gave up their government service? So that the six Goswamis. The
No,
other
Rupa
question.
Goswami and Sanatan Goswami were in the government service.
Okay, okay. And the other thing was that we mentioned in the previous slide that you must be always be in the mood of separation from Krishna. So what does that exactly mean? Because won't that cause more anxiety when you're separated from someone? You feel more anxiety than you feel love, yes, but there is more of anxiety when you're separated. So just wanted to understand that.
So it is that anxiety which leads to purification. Shastras also say that when we go through any anxiety, when we lose something that is very dear to us and we go through anxiety, that burns our that removes our impurities and leads to purification. Of course, for a pure devotee, there is no purification required, that because he's already a pure devotee. But that anxiety, that hankering, it increases the love. It increases the love the devotee has for Krishna. I'll give a very crude example. When a boy and girl are dating, right? So sometimes there is separation, then sometimes they are meeting. Sometimes there is separation, and then sometimes they are meeting. So when they meet after the separation, that union is more sweet, right? But once they get married and they are there with each other 24/7, then where do you think the love was more? When they were dating or after marriage? Right? Because when there was
I would
separation
not.
and then they met, so that then the union is more sweet, then there is more love. Of course, for us, that doesn't mean that we are promoting that people should only date and they should not get married. We have to get married and stay with one partner. That's not the idea, but just to understand how love increases in separation, right? So therefore we use that example. So that separation, this is because, see, there are some asampradayas, we call them asampradayas. They are not bona fide sampradayas, where they come up with some philosophies that I have already attained Krishna. I have already attained love of God. A devotee will never say that I have already attained love of God. A devotee will always say that I am the most rotten, most fallen. So I have already attained Krishna. I have already attained perfection. So now everybody should worship me. Everybody should fall at my feet. They should worship. No, that's not the mood of especially Gaudiya Vaishnavas. It's always hankering. We always want more. We always want more. We are fallen. We are rotten. I have not yet attained Krishna. I need to be purified. I have to get Krishna. That is the mood of a devotee. Okay. Yeah, Shivani?
Hare Krishna Mataji, sorry, I joined a little bit late. You mentioned that you said that Rupa was the Goswamis, something about to this effect that previously or a few minutes ago, maybe you had mentioned that what instructions they were given by Mahaprabhu, the Goswamis, to do. What was that?
Primary two instructions were to go to Vrindavan and discover the lost places of Krishna Leelas, wherever the pastimes had taken place, to discover those places which had been lost over time. And two is to write books on the literature, write literature on the philosophy and preach. These were the two principal instructions.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So coming back to that point where I was mentioning, no, that the father and the father's brother of what's his name? Raghunath Das Goswami, they were earning like 12 lakh rupees per annum. So just to understand how much that money is, it is described that at that time 1 kilo of rice would cost 1 paisa, 1 paisa. Okay, so it is described that the kind of wealth he had was compared to the wealth that Lord Indra has, the king of gods. So we know Indra is very, very opulent. He is the king of heaven. So the kind of opulence that Indra had, that is the kind of opulence that Raghunath Das had at that time. And everything he gave up for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. It is mentioned here. See, where did we see that? Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So this is a Sampradaya to which ISKCON belongs. So there are 4 bona fide Sampradayas: Brahma Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya. Every Sampradaya has their Acharya, chief Acharya, no? And of the Brahma Sampradaya, it's Madhvacharya. Shri Sampradaya is Ramanujacharya, Rudra Sampradaya is Vishnu Swami, and Kumar Sampradaya is Nimbarka Charya. So ISKCON belongs to the Brahma because it's coming from Lord Brahma. Brahma Madhva, because Madhvacharya is our chief Acharya. And Brahma Madhva Gaudiya. Gaudiya means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So our teachings are based on the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, our Sampradaya or the Sampradaya of ISKCON is called as the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And here, of course, we have Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, coming in the disciplic succession. So as we discussed, as we saw previously, how the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that he cries in separation for Krishna, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us how a devotee should behave, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always exhibited that he is feeling separation from Krishna. So one evidence of this is the Shikshastakam prayers. The only thing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wrote are the 8 verses of the Shikshastakam prayers. Shiksha means knowledge or teaching, and Ashtak means 8. So Shikshastakam prayers are 8 verses that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wrote, and these 8 verses are the only thing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wrote. So in his 7 Shikshastakam prayers, this is what he is praying. O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. So this is the teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How, and he puts this in the Shikshastakam prayers also, how to feel separation from Govinda. See, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, being always absorbed in the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt the same separation from Krishna that Srimati Radharani felt when Krishna left Vrindavan and went to Mathura. This ecstatic feeling is very helpful in attaining love of God in separation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught everyone that one should not be overly anxious to see the Lord, but should rather feel separation from Him in ecstasy. It is actually better to feel separation from Him than to desire to see Him face to face. So, this is our philosophy. Very, very important to understand. In this photo, we saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feeling separation from Krishna. This happened during his stay in Jagannath Puri. See, Lord Jagannath, before the Ratha Yatra, 15 days before the Ratha Yatra, we celebrate the Snana Yatra, where Lord Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra are bathed with different liquids for very, very opulently for long period of time. 15 days before the Rath Yatra is called as the Snana Yatra. So what happens when a person has a long bath, the person falls sick, no? He gets cough, cold, he has some viral fever. So like this, the Leela is that Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, after the long Snana, no, after that bathing, then they fall sick. So for 15 days they are kept in a closed room, because what happens when a person is sick, then the person has to take rest, no, he has to take rest, he doesn't meet people. So like that, Jagannath is kept behind closed doors, and people write letters, please get well soon, no, and the pujaris, they offer him some herbs and some medication so that he can get over his cold and cough. So this is the Leela, okay. So during those 15 days, the darshan is closed. No, there is no darshan of Jagannath Baldev Subhadra in the Jagannath Puri temple during those 15 days before the Rath Yatra and after the Snana Yatra. So at that time, because the darshan was closed, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeling so much separation from Jagannath. No, Jagannath, of course, is none other than another form of Krishna. So he's feeling so much separation from Jagannath. No, so he's feeling so much ecstasy. He goes to the Alarnath temple, which is also there in it's on a hill, some kilometers. I think 20 or so kilometers from the Jagannath Puri temple. It is Alarnath temple. So he goes there and he goes to have the darshan of the deity of Lord Alarnath. Because he is feeling separation from Jagannath, he cannot see Jagannath. He goes to Alarnath, and there he bows down, he offers obeisances, he's offering Dandavat Pranam to Lord Alarnath. So when he bows down and offers Dandavat Pranam to Lord Alarnath, he's feeling so much separation, he's feeling so much ecstasy, that the stone on which he offered obeisances, that melted because of the ecstasy that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is feeling in his body. So this particular stone, you can see even today, if you go to Puri and you go to the Alarnath temple, you can see this slab of stone which has the body prints of Lord Chaitanya. So this stone has actually melted because of the ecstasy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the photo of that. Now you can see this form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that temple. So this is one place you want to visit when you go to Jagannath Puri. Remember, Alarnath temple is called as a Prema Shila Alarnath temple near Puri. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised. Oh, before that, this is the Alarnath temple here. This is the temple, and this is the deity of Lord Alarnath. You can see he's in the Lord. He's a form of Lord Vishnu. He's in the four-handed form here. And what are the four things that Lord Vishnu holds in his four hands?
Conch,
Conch.
uh,
One conch.
Yes,
then
conch.
lotus,
What's that?
Lotus
Conch.
flower,
lotus,
Lotus flower,
mace,
mace,
and
and
Sudarshan Chakra.
Sudarshan Chakra. Yes, these are the four things. But what is unique about this deity is this lower right hand of the deity is in this position of blessing. No, usually, if you see Vishnu Murtis, the one hand will not be in this form of blessing. But this particular Alarnath deity has one hand. In the hand in which he's holding the lotus flower, he has it in that blessing form. So this is unique about this Alarnath deity. If you go to Jagannath Puri, you can observe. So this is that particular temple. Yeah, Shailesh, now yes, your question.
So if you go to the previous slide, can you
Yeah,
go to the previous slide?
this is the previous slide.
Not this, the one before. So here, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling us that on the one hand, he's saying you should not be overly anxious to see the Lord, but should rather feel separation from him in ecstasy. Better to feel separation from him than to desire to see him face to face. So isn't this slightly contradictory?
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught everyone that one should not be overly anxious to see the Lord. Overly anxious. Okay? Because one should work. See, the mood of a devotee is we do our seva and we behave in such a way that the Lord wants to see us. Not that we are overly anxious to see the Lord. Even if we are not able to see the Lord face to face, we can associate with the Lord through his seva, through his devotional service. See the Lord means face to face. Even if the Lord doesn't give us his darshan, still we continue with our devotional service. Still we continue in our ecstatic, we continue with our service, and we are happy to render devotional service and in separation from him. Not that we are blaming the Lord. Oh, I'm doing so much service. Why you are not giving me your personal darshan? That is what it means here. Don't be overly anxious to see the Lord. That is face to face. You can see the Lord through your service. You can see the Lord. The Lord will reciprocate and you can feel his presence in your life. But not that we are saying, oh, but why are you not coming and showing me your face to face? No, because he's not our order carrier.
So essentially, the what he's trying to say is don't do the service with an objective that you have to see him face to face.
Exactly,
I think.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, coming back to Krishna book. The Gopis used to discuss Krishna amongst themselves, and their talks were as follows. My dear friends, one Gopi said, do you know that when Krishna lies on the ground, he rests on his left elbow and his head rests on his left hand? He moves his attractive eyebrows while playing his flute with his delicate fingers, and the sound he produces creates such a nice atmosphere that the denizens of the heavenly planets who travel in space with their wives and beloveds stop their airplanes, for they are stunned by the vibration of the flute. The wives of the demigods who are seated in the air in the plains then become very much ashamed of their singing and musical qualifications. Not only that, but they become afflicted with conjugal love, and their hair and tight clothes immediately loosen. So even the wives of the demigods, although they are with their husbands in that airplane, they are stunned and they cannot not feel conjugal love for Krishna. That is the effect of the sound of Krishna's flute. They are stunned and they are feeling ashamed of their singing and musical qualifications. So, of course, they are wives of the demigods. The wives of demigods, they are very, very highly qualified, very, very highly qualified, very, very talented, no, but still not as talented as Krishna. Another Gopi said, My dear friends, Krishna is so beautiful that the goddess of fortune always remains on his chest, and he is always adorned with a golden necklace. Beautiful Krishna plays his flute in order to enliven the hearts of many devotees. He is the only friend of the suffering living entities. When he plays his flute, all the cows and other animals of Vrindavan, although engaged in eating, simply take a morsel of food in their mouths and stop chewing. Their ears rise up and they become stunned. They do not appear alive, but like painted animals. Krishna's flute playing is so attractive that even the animals become enchanted, and what to speak of ourselves. So previously we saw the Gopis saying how the wives of the demigods are stunned. Now we are seeing how the cows are also stunned. So the cows, they are eating, they are chewing. But as soon as they hear Krishna's flute, then they stop. They cannot even continue chewing. The food remains in the mouth and they stop chewing. They are so stunned by the sound vibration of Krishna's flute. So that is the effect that Krishna's flute has even on the cows and other animals of Vrindavan. See here, this line here, he is the only friend of the suffering living entities. No, he is the only friend because he is the only person who will accompany the living entity even in the next body and the next body and the next body and the next body as the Paramatma. So now we are in the body of a human being. Now, if we don't take to bhakti and we are being misled, then in the next body we may have the body of a hog. And what is the hog eating? The hog is eating stool. He is living in all obnoxious circumstances. He is in the dirty waters. Even in those obnoxious circumstances, Krishna is accompanying us as the super soul. Or one may be born as a worm who's living in stool itself, the worm in the stool. Even in that obnoxious body of the worm in the stool, Krishna is residing as the Paramatma in the heart of that particular worm, right? So therefore, there is no other entity who is going to do that for us. Nobody else. We may have the bestest of the best friends. We may have a very good husband, a very good wife, very good children, excellent, but only until death do us apart. No, who's going to accompany us in the next life? No. When in Christian weddings when they take their marriage vows, they say until death do us apart. But Krishna is that personality who accompanies us even beyond death. Therefore, he is the only friend of the living entities. Another Gopi said, my dear friends, not only living animals, but even inanimate objects like the rivers at lakes of Vrindavan also become stunned when Krishna passes with peacock feathers on his head and his body smeared with the minerals of Vrindavan. With leaves and flowers decorating his body, he looks like some hero. But when he plays on his flute and calls the cows with Balaram, the river Yamuna stops flowing and waits for the air to carry dust from his lotus feet. But the river Yamuna is unfortunate like us and does not get Krishna's mercy. The river simply remains stunned, stopping its waves, just as we also stop crying for Krishna in expectation. In the absence of Krishna, the gopis were constantly shedding tears, but sometimes when they expected that Krishna was coming, they would stop crying. But when they saw that Krishna was not coming, then again they would become frustrated and begin to cry. So the river Yamuna stops flowing and she is also stunned. And gopis are saying that she is not so fortunate because the river Yamuna cannot go to Krishna. No, she is stunned. She is there within her banks. So she is not able to go to Krishna. So therefore, gopis are saying the Yamuna is not so fortunate because she is also not able to go to Krishna like us. No, the gopis are feeling separation because they are in their homes and Krishna is in the forest. And then Yamuna stops there and she's hoping that the wind will carry the dust from Krishna's lotus feet and bring it to her waters. So this is the effect of Krishna's flute on the river Yamuna. Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, the origin of all Vishnu forms, and the cowherd boys are all demigods. So just as Lord Vishnu is always worshipped and surrounded by different demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Indra, Chandra, and others, when Krishna traveled through the Vrindavan forest and walked on Govardhan hill, he was accompanied by the cowherd boys. While walking, he played his flute just to call his cows. Just by his association, the trees, plants, and other vegetation in the forest immediately became Krishna conscious. A Krishna conscious person sacrifices everything for Krishna. Although the trees and plants were not very advanced in consciousness, by the association of Krishna and his friends, they also became Krishna conscious. They then wanted to deliver everything, whatever they had, namely their fruits, flowers, and the honey incessantly falling from their branches. So this is the effect of Krishna's flute on the trees, plants, and other vegetation. See, coming to this, Krishna traveled through the Vrindavan forest or walked on Govardhan hill. I just remember now of one pastime of this Govardhan mountain. So Giri Govardhan, in the previous yuga, during the Treta Yuga of Lord Sri Ramachandra, when Hanuman was bringing all different huge rocks and mountains to be part of that bridge to cross over and go to Lanka to get Sita back, no? So he was bringing all these huge mountains also. And there was this time when he wanted to take Giri Govardhan to be a part of that bridge, so that the bridge can be completed. But just as when he was about to take Giri Govardhan for that seva, Lord Ram told him that, okay, Hanuman, now no more. The bridge has been completed. So we don't require any more rocks or mountains. So that time Giri Govardhan told Hanuman that, oh, but I wanted to be of some service to the Lord. Now I will not be able to render any service to Lord Ram. So that time Hanuman says that, okay, not this time, but in the future, you will be, your desire will be fulfilled. So that's why then in the next yuga, when the Lord came, when Lord Krishna came, then he walked on Govardhan and he engaged Giri Govardhan in his service. No, so this is the story of Giri Govardhan. Okay, Shivani, your hand is raised.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The previous slide, what was it that you said the air brought or carried? I missed that.
The air, so Yamuna stopped flowing because she wanted that the air will carry the dust from Krishna's lotus feet towards her.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Hare
welcome.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. When Krishna walked on the bank of the Yamuna, he was nicely dressed with tilaka on his face. He was garlanded with different kinds of forest flowers, and his body was smeared with the pulp of sandalwood and tulsi leaves. The bumblebees became mad after the fragrance and sweetness of the atmosphere and began to hum. Being pleased by the humming sound of the bees, Krishna would play his flute, and together the sounds became so sweet to hear that aquatic birds like cranes, swans, and ducks were charmed. Instead of swimming or flying, they became stunned. They closed their eyes and entered a trance of meditation in worship of Krishna. So this is the effect of Krishna's flute on the birds also. One Gopi said, my dear friends, Krishna and Balaram are nicely dressed with earrings and pearl necklaces. They enjoy themselves on the top of Govardhan hill, and everything becomes absorbed in transcendental pleasure when Krishna plays on his flute, charming the whole created manifestation. When he plays, the clouds stop their loud thundering out of fear of disturbing the vibration of his flute. Instead, they respond with mild thunder and so congratulate Krishna, their friend. So the clouds are not thundering very loud because they don't want to offend Krishna. So they are responding with a mild thunder. Krishna is accepted as the friend of the cloud because both the cloud and Krishna satisfy the people when they are disturbed. When the people are burning due to excessive heat, the cloud satisfies them with rain. Similarly, when people in materialistic life become disturbed by the blazing fire of material pangs, Krishna consciousness gives them relief like a cloud. The cloud and Krishna, having the same bodily color also, are considered to be friends. Desiring to congratulate its superior friend, the cloud poured not water but small flowers and covered the head of Krishna just like an umbrella to protect him from the scorching sunshine. So the complexion, Krishna's complexion is exactly like that of a cloud. Now the cloud has different colors at different times. Krishna's complexion is the color of the dark rain cloud just before it starts to rain. The acharyas explain that is the exact complexion of Krishna, the color of the dark rain cloud just before it begins to rain. So the cloud is pouring down flowers in order to protect Krishna from the scorching sunshine, just like an umbrella. So it is described how when the earth is suffering from excessive heat and the cloud pours down rain, that gives relief from the scorching heat of the sun. In the same way, one is experiencing the scorching heat of material pangs in this material body, in this material world. But when one connects with Krishna, then one can get relief from these material pangs of birth, death, disease, and old age. Otherwise, there is no other way. We will be taking birth again and again in this material world. So again birth, again death, again old age, again disease. These are the pangs of material existence. Yeah, Shivani?
Sorry, Mataji. Can you go 2 slides back, please? 2 or 3 slides.
Here.
I forgot you. I missed what.
Which one? This slide or this slide?
Don't remember now.
Okay, you think about it.
After you said the Yamuna wanted to bring the wanted to stop because he wanted the air to bring the lotus, the smell of the lotus feet of the Krishna.
So this is the slide of the river Yamuna. After that is this slide. But your question was regarding what? What was the subject matter?
The Gopis, something to do with Gopis. I don't remember.
Okay,
It's
so
okay,
I
ma'am.
recommend you take your Krishna book and go through. Maybe you will remember.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. One of the gopis told Mother Yashoda, "My dear mother, your son is very expert among the cowherd boys. He knows all the different arts of how to tend the cows and how to play the flute. He composes his own songs, and to play them, he puts his flute to his mouth. When he plays, either in the morning or in the evening, all the demigods, including Lord Shiva, Brahma, Indra, and Chandra, bow their heads and listen with great attention. Although they are very learned and expert, they cannot understand the musical arrangement of Krishna's flute. They simply listen attentively and try to understand, and they become bewildered and nothing more." So this is the effect of Krishna's flute on the demigods also. Demigods like Lord Shiva, Brahma, Indra, and Chandra, they cannot understand the musical arrangements of Krishna's flute. They listen attentively and they become bewildered. This is what the gopis are telling Mother Yashoda. Another gopi said, "My dear friends, when Krishna returns home with his cows, the footprints of the soles of his feet with flag, thunderbolt, trident, and lotus flower relieve the pain the earth feels when the cows traverse it. He walks in a stride which is so attractive, and he carries his flute. Just by looking at him, we become lusty to enjoy his company. At that time, our movements cease. We become just like trees and stand perfectly still, unaware that our hair and clothes are loosening." Krishna had many thousands of cows, and they were divided into groups according to their colors. They were also differently named according to color. When he would prepare to return from the pasturing ground, he would gather all the cows. As Vaishnavas count 108 beads, which represent the 108 individual gopis, so Krishna would also count on 108 beads to count the different groups of cows. So Krishna, he had thousands of cows, and he had divided them into 108 groups according to their colors, right? So according to their color, there are 108 groups. So one group of cow, they are all of one particular color. And then he also knows the names of each of those cows, and he uses colored beads to call each of those group of cows. So those group of cows also have one prominent cow or the leader of that group. So Krishna is calling by each bead that particular group of cows. When Krishna returns, he is garlanded with tulsi leaves. A gopi described him to a friend. He puts his hand on the shoulder of a cowherd boyfriend and begins to blow his transcendental flute. The wives of the black deer become enchanted upon hearing the vibration of his flute, which resembles the vibration of the veena. The deer comes to Krishna and becomes so charmed that they stand still, forgetting their homes and husbands. Like us, who are enchanted by the ocean of the transcendental qualities of Krishna, the she deer become enchanted by the vibration of his flute. Another gopi told Mother Yashoda, "My dear mother, when your son returns home, he decorates himself with the buds of the kunda flower, and just to enlighten and gladden his friends, he blows his flute. The breeze blowing from the south creates a pleasing atmosphere because it is fragrant and very cool. Minor demigods like the Gandharvas and Siddhas take advantage of this atmosphere and offer prayers to your son by sounding their bugles and drums. Krishna is very kind to the inhabitants of Rajabhumi, Vrindavan, and when he returns with his cows and friends, he is remembered as the uplifter of Govardhan Hill. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the most exalted demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva come down to offer their evening prayers, and they accompany the cowherd boys in glorifying the qualities of Krishna. So these are everyday happenings. This is not just one day that the Gandharas and Siddhas are offering prayers. It's not that only one day Brahma and Shiva are coming down to offer their evening prayers. No, this is every single day. Every day when Krishna comes back from the forest, so that time all these things are happening. This is an everyday pastime, daily pastime. Krishna is compared to the moon born in the ocean of the womb of Devaki. When he returns in the evening, it appears that he is fatigued, but he still tries to gladden the inhabitants of Vrindavan by his auspicious presence. When Krishna returns, garlanded with flowers, his face looks beautiful, adorned with golden earrings. He walks into Vrindavan with a stride, just like the elephants, and slowly enters his home. Upon his return, the men, women, and cows of Vrindavan immediately forget the scorching heat of the day. Such descriptions of Krishna's transcendental pastimes and activities were remembered by the gopis during his absence from Vrindavan. They give us some idea of how attractive Krishna is, not only to human beings, but to all animate and inanimate objects. In Vrindavan, everyone and everything is attracted to Krishna, including the trees, the plants, the water, the animals, like the deer and the cows. That is the perfect description of Krishna's all attractiveness. The example of the gopis is very instructive to persons who are trying to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness. One can very easily associate with Krishna simply by remembering his transcendental pastimes. Everyone has a tendency to love someone. That Krishna should be the object of love is the central point of Krishna consciousness. By constantly chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and remembering the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, one can be fully in Krishna consciousness and thus make his life sublime and fruitful. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 35th chapter of Krishna, the gopis' feeling of separation. So we learn from the gopis how we should love Krishna. So the example of the gopis is very instructive to persons who are trying to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So this is a very, very important lesson that we can learn from the gopis. See, one can very easily associate with Krishna simply by remembering his transcendental pastimes. So one must not think that, oh, Krishna is this historic personality who came 5,000 years ago. Oh, Krishna is this personality who's situated so far away from us in Golok, in the spiritual world. No. Krishna is in Golok, of course. Krishna personally walked the planet some 5,000 years ago. But that does not mean that we cannot associate with Krishna. By engaging in his seva, by listening to his pastimes, by hearing and remembering his pastimes, then we can very easily associate with Krishna. Why? Because Krishna, his form, his name, his name, fame, entourage, his leelas, they are all non-different from Krishna. Krishna is his name. No, Krishna is in his Leela. So they are non-different from Krishna. This is the reason why we can easily associate with Krishna when we remember his pastimes. And this is the reason why Krishna performed those pastimes so that we can hear the pastimes and we can be purified. See, everyone has a tendency to love someone. Someone or the other we will love, right? If we don't love our family, we may love our wealth, we may love our neighbor, but someone or the other we will love. That Krishna should be the object of love is the central point of Krishna consciousness. It's okay, we may love our children, we may love our families. That's fine. But no love should surpass the love that one has for Krishna. That is the bottom line. So, love for Krishna, number one priority. We may love our family, that's fine. It's only natural that, for example, a mother loves her child. It's only natural. But that love for the child should not surpass the love that one has for Krishna. Because at the time of death, that which we are most attached to is what we are going to think of at the time of death. Okay, so if we are most attached to our children, then we will think of our children. But the thought of our children is not going to take us back to the spiritual world unless our children are pure devotees. Okay, so I'll read this line again. That Krishna should be the object of love is the central point of Krishna consciousness. By constantly chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and remembering the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, one can be fully in Krishna consciousness and thus make his life sublime and fruitful. So, success is not measured by how much we have gained materially. Sometimes they say so and so is a successful businessman. Just because he has made a lot of money as a businessman does not mean that he is successful. So real success is how we can think of Krishna at the time of death. Narayana Smriti at the time of death. That is the real success of human life. Gathering material opulences, wealth, fame, beauty, intelligence, all that does not make you a successful person. That does not make us a successful person. On that note, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we come to the end of today's presentation. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Do we have any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji. I apologize. I joined a little bit late. I missed the 15 minutes of the beginning of the class. Tell a little bit what happened.
Well, we described how the gopis are feeling separation from Krishna when Krishna goes to the forest during the daytime. So this is called as a Yugala Gita, the song that the gopis are singing in separation from Krishna when Krishna goes to the forest during the daytime. So basically, this is the chapter. And then the gopis are describing in small groups how Krishna has his effect, or his flute has its effect on all these different kinds of living entities. Okay, so basically, this is the synopsis of the chapter.
Thank you so much. I apologize. Hare Krishna Dhanapranam.
Hare Krishna. Anything else?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Guru Srila Prabhupada, 108 groups you're talking about, cows or something. You talked about 108 groups.
Yes.
Krishna made or some. Can you repeat that sentence somehow?
Krishna has thousands of cows, and those cows are divided into 108 groups according to their color. And Krishna has different color beads. Each color bead is representing one particular group of those cows.
Beads, meaning beads like
Beads.
chanting beads?
Just beads. It says beads. Take it at face value. Beads, colored beads.
Thank you.
Anything else? Are we ready for the test? Yeah, Shailesh?
I just wanted to ask one thing. On the one hand, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that we should not be anxious to meet the Lord. But then the gopis, they don't curse, but they say to Lord Brahma that why did you make eyelids? Because we cannot see Krishna for that period of time when we blink our eyes. So isn't that anxiety? Is there any clarity on that?
Okay, so the thing is, we should not see the okay. First lesson is we should not copy great personalities. We should follow in their footsteps. Okay. Okay. So what is the lesson that we are getting from the gopis is how we have to hanker for Krishna. So the gopis, when they are saying that, why do you create these islets? Because we want to see Krishna. It shows how they are hankering to see Krishna. So we should hanker to see Krishna. We should go through that anxiety to see Krishna. But we should not think that, oh, Krishna, because I'm doing this service, you have to come before me. They are not blaming Krishna. They are not saying that Krishna has to come, or they are not saying that. See, there are two different things. Hankering for Krishna is one thing, and the other thing is to blame Krishna that, oh, Krishna, I'm doing so much service, so therefore you have to give me your darshan. So therefore you must come face to face. Why you are appearing in somebody's dream, but you're not appearing in my dream? Why you are giving instruction to somebody else as Paramatma and you're not giving that? That is what we should not do. But hankering, yes. That anxiety, yes. But we don't blame Krishna for, or we don't have that, okay, because I'm doing this, therefore, it's like, see, when we go for a job, right, we expect that, yes, the boss must give us the salary. But here, no, we give service to Krishna, but we don't say that, Krishna, you have to do this, or you must do this, or you should do this. The gopis are not blaming Krishna that you have to come before us. But they are just hankering, right? They are not telling Krishna, don't go to the forest. You must remain here. That's not the mood of the gopis. They are saying, Krishna has gone. Krishna has to go. We have to stay back at home. So yes, they have the right to hanker. They have the right to lament. They have the right to feel that anxiety. Like that. Okay? It's not so easy to understand. But by the time we finish Krishna book, by Krishna's mercy, we will try to understand. Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva. Okay. Are we ready for our test? Yeah, Shivani? You have your hand raised? I can't hear you. Okay.
Mataji, what does it mean he walks in Vrindavan with a stride? What is a stride?
It's a particular style of walking. His walking is very stylish.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the exam is in your chat right now.